Welcome back to American Agenda. Bob Sellers here with Heather Childers. The cancellation of Dr. Seuss continues. eBay is now removing listings of the 6 books some are calling controversial. The company says they violate the company's offensive material policy. Offensive, I should say. And listings that promote or glorify hatred, violence, or discrimination are not allowed. But all is not lost. The New York Public Library says it has a duty to ensure the libraries have accurate and diverse collections and will keep Dr. Seuss books on its shelves. Let's bring back our panel. You know, what strikes me, Stacey, and what I get so tired of with this cancel culture, it's the either or, the on or off, the one extreme or the other. It's like, can't we just, as adults, say, you know, Dr. Seuss drew some things, and we have seen some pictures that may be offensive. Thomas Jefferson did some things like having slaves, but he helped found the country. Why does everything have to be one extreme or the other?
Well, because people lack the ability to deal in nuance. This is the way I choose to look at it and the way we've always talked to our kids about this, and it really is empowering. And that is, for any of these authors, we can go through a whole list of some of my favorite authors who, one of my favorite books in the whole world is And the Women of the Club. And it has the N-word in it numerous times, because at the time that the book was written, it's written about an era in our country where that word was used prolifically by Americans. And so for the context of the book, it works. It doesn't give me pleasure to read it, but the book itself is outstanding. It is an amazing book, and you can learn so much from it. It's a work of fiction, but it is so closely mirrors the interaction between women over the course of their lives that I so highly recommend it. But I bought it on the shelf at the library for $2 because they were getting rid of it because it has the N-word in it. So we're going to lose the context of what history was. Another author is Agatha Christie. I've read every single book and play she's ever written. That's over 100 and some odd pieces of work.
Wow.
About halfway through, I found out that this is a woman who lived in the Victorian era, and she was wealthy. And so therefore, she saw Black people as the N-word, and she used it prolifically. One of her books had the N-word in the title. But I'm able to, as an American in 2021, Black as the day is long and always will be, enjoy the work of Dr. Seuss, Agatha Christie, and anyone else, and teach my children the benefits of their work without having to experience the racism that they lived in, because I live in 2021.
Yeah.
And so the point that we have is to do that, to enjoy, to partake of literature and every other art form without worrying about what they were really like.
And you're thinking like an adult and making those kinds of decisions. Bob, your thoughts here?
Well, Stacey answered it for all of us. I would only add that this is actually a symptom of a deeper spiritual question. You know, rights only come from 2 sources. They either come from God, as America believes, or they come from the group. And so if you, as Thomas Jefferson said, the God who gave us life, gave us liberty at the same time. So if you do away with God, then you can do away with innocent life. And now you see taking our liberty. And how do you do that? You divide people up between race and gender and all the rest. Nurse Ratched in charge of the airline, so when you step on that, they snap you for not wearing a veil and that sort of thing.
Right, right. We've got half a minute here, Joe, so finish it up here.
Shakespeare is being canceled by some college professors as well. It turns out Shakespeare was racist. I had no idea. The Cat in the Hat, Dr. Seuss being removed from sites where you can go and buy it doesn't make sense. We've got a push from the progressive left in this country that you're not allowed to be skeptical. You're not allowed to weigh the evidence on both sides. You're not allowed to learn about what's real versus what's not real. They would rather eliminate it to stop you from having the ability to live freely and independently of mind, spirit, and soul. And that's just not American in my book.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we've gotten there. Joe Pags, Stacey Washington, Bob McEwen, thank you all for joining us today. You're all great. Could talk to any of you for the whole hour. So we're lucky to have all 3 of you for the whole hour. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And folks, we have more of American Agenda coming up after this.